This weekend, Chelsea host Manchester City in the most highly anticipated clash of the WSL season. It's champions versus challengers, Royal Blue versus Sky Blue, Sonia Bompastor versus Gareth Taylor. It's set to be an absolute classic. In this video, we preview the game, discussing how we expect the clash to play out and predicting the game at the end. This is our Chelsea versus Manchester City preview. Alright, let's talk about it then. The biggest game in the WSL this season, Chelsea versus Manchester City. It's tomorrow, Harry. First up, are you excited for it?
I mean, how could I not be? What a game it's going to be, as you say. A lot on the line tomorrow. You've got Manchester City leading, which perhaps isn't what we expected come the start of the season. Chelsea just behind. 3 points is absolutely massive. Doesn't matter what team it goes to. I think if we get a draw, that would also show us a lot, and that would be, if anything, a draw's more exciting than one of the teams winning. But either way, it's going to be a brilliant game, a lot on the line, and yeah, two quality teams going at it once again.
As you say, City are in front, but only by a point, and only because of Chelsea's game in hand, really. City slipping up on the opening day. Does that have any sway in how you think this game could go? City, the only test they've had in the WSL this season, or the only side that's close to them in the league at the moment, it being Arsenal. They've not played Chelsea, they've not played United, and that Arsenal side managed to get a draw against them. So does that bode poorly for City?
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of factors that went into that Arsenal game. I think City look a lot better than they did in that first game. I think, as we know, Eidevall is always very good at setting his team up for one game, and Arsenal got it spot on in that game. If anything, I think City will be quite happy to take a point away from that fixture. The fact they're unbeaten, for me, they probably should have lost that opening game. So a draw's not a bad thing. I think City look much better than they did in match week 1. I don't think it will affect City too much. They've been rampant since that draw. So I think they're coming into this in good form.
True, and they did beat Barcelona in the Champions League, which is probably the team that's closest to Chelsea right now. Well, they're probably better than Chelsea, to be fair, and they did beat them. So, and obviously that's different competition, and different aspects, different factors will have a part to play. The thing I think we can take from the Arsenal game was how open City have been in transition, and that's been all season, really. It's why Olivia Smith managed to get that goal in the Liverpool game. It's why Aston Villa managed to counter-attack them and score. And I think if Chelsea's attack is on it, Chelsea will score a goal at least. And that's already putting City on the back foot. I think Chelsea's home advantage, we saw the impact it had last season when these two sides met. I think that could just tip the scales in the favour of Chelsea a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't think City have been flawless this season, whereas Chelsea, they haven't even dropped a point in any competition. And I know the performance level perhaps hasn't been as high as you would want it, but they've not dropped a point in any game. They've played Arsenal and they've played Real Madrid. They're the biggest test I think they've had so far. I know they've still got Chelsea, they've still got City and Manchester United to come up in the next 2 weeks, but for me, they've had big tests and they've passed them with flying colours so far. This is the biggest test they're going to have this season. If they win this, Chelsea are in the driving seat.
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would be putting some bets on a high-scoring game. As you say, I think Man City have struggled in that transition, but Chelsea as well have struggled with that ball over the top, especially if we see a partnership of Buchanan and Bright, which we expect to, because they were the two that were rested in the midweek in the WSL. So if we do see a Bright and Buchanan partnership, that ball over the top for Chelsea could be deadly. I do think that we're going to see a lot of goals, and I think the battles, it could be a case of who is more solid at the back. I think, as you say, Man City have struggled defending in the transition. Chelsea with that ball over the top, and with Lucy Bronze not defending ever, there are a chance that Man City can catch them out as well. So it's an opportunity for the best attackers in the world to probably put on a show, to be honest.
Well, exactly, and there's a reason these two sides scored the most goals in the league this season. Chelsea with 23, Man City then second with 16. That is a big gulf. I would point that out as well. They've also conceded very few goals. United, the only team to conceded less than these two sides. So it's going to be a good one. Two top teams playing at the top level right now. I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm struggling to call it, if I'm honest. I think it's going to be really tight.
Yeah, very much so.
An aspect I think Chelsea could have in their favour is that rotation aspect. I think we've spoken a few times this season about City's lack of squad depth. We saw City had to play a very strong side, a relatively strong side in the midweek, whereas Chelsea did rest up fairly, overwhelming. I think everyone was rested. So I think that can have an impact. And I think if Chelsea are behind going into the second half, or it is level, they have got more to bring off the bench, and that could have an impact.
Yeah, definitely so. I think the other thing as well, which kind of is also part of that rotation factor, is that for me, if City this season, they've scored loads of goals, yes, but realistically, it's been the same three players of Hemp, Shaw, and Rord. And since Rord's come back, it was Hemp and Shaw. Rord's come back and got involved. For me, and Jess Park, I suppose you can also put in there. But the problem is that's your four. They all start. If you're bringing the players coming onto the pitch, like if it's 1-1, I don't see you bringing on a Kelly or a Fowler or somebody or Coombs that's going to come in and change the game. Whereas if you look at Chelsea, and if they're bringing on Aggie Beaver-Jones or Kat Macario, I think there's more of a chance that they could make an impact. And that will be a slight concern for Man City. So I think the aim for City has to be is to get the job done with the 11 players on the pitch.
Well, yeah, to back up your point there, City have had 6 different goal scorers. One of them is Vivian Miedema, who is still out injured, we believe, for this game. Chelsea, 12 different goal scorers.
Wow.
And that, for me, is the key difference. Chelsea have so many players who can get involved in the goals, who will be involved. So I think that does make a huge difference.
Yeah, it does.
Make a huge difference.
It does. However, Lauren Hemp's chances, I think, will be doubled by, I think, what is going to be a crucial battle between Lucy Bronze and Lauren Hemp.
Probably it's going to be the most crucial battle.
It is, because if Bronze keeps getting caught out of position, Lauren Hemp's going to have an absolute field day, because if Bronze gets caught high, suddenly it leaves Lauren Hemp versus Kadisha Buchanan. No offence to Kadisha Buchanan, Lauren Hemp is much quicker than her. Hemp will just run past her, and then suddenly Hemp's in on goal. And that is absolutely critical. That I'll be very intrigued to see what centre-half partnership Sonia Bompastor goes for. It probably will be Buchanan and Bright, which means that ball over the top into Khadija Shaw with her pace, with her strength, could be critical. But yeah, out wide is where City can hurt Chelsea, I think. You've got Baltimore, who isn't a defensive left back, and you've got Lucy Bronze, who runs off. It's going to be Man City will be hoping that Hemp and Fagino can have a really good game, and that could change the game.
Yeah, indeed. Let's talk expected 11s then for this game. With Chelsea, it's going to be the 4-2-3-1 formation. You'd have to say it'll be Hampton over Musovic, right?
Yeah, definitely.
No real conversation there. I think the back four writes itself as well. Bronze, Buchanan, Bright, Baltimore. Potentially we see Lawrence in there, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a more defensive right back than Bronze. That could be an interesting call. In the pivot, probably Cuthbert and Nusken. Nusken was rested up in the week, Cuthbert wasn't, but equally we are kind of short on midfielders at the moment with a few injuries, so that wasn't too surprising. And obviously we want to play Cuthbert against Celtic. She hates Celtic. Give her the armband, let her go and rough them up. On the right side, we'd expect it to be Carnoid. On the left side, Gura Wrighton. Hamano in attack midfield, would you say?
Yeah,
or
I think so.
Would you see a captain or someone like that?
I would expect. Amano's had the bulk of the minutes. I think she's played very, very well this season. She scored again in the midweek. I think you have to reward form, and I think Hamano will probably start in that 10 role.
And then to lead the line, I can't see it being A.B. Jones. I think it's got to be Myra Ramirez for a game like this.
Yeah, Chelsea are in a tough position here, because the idea would have been is to play Ramirez on Saturday and then go back to Beaver Jones for the Champions League game. Obviously, Beaver Jones is suspended, so she can't play. I don't think that would have a massive impact, because for me, you want Myra Ramirez starting on Saturday. Her strength up against Greenwood and Alexandri is going to be more crucial than Beaver Jones trying to get in behind, because for me, Ramirez, there's more chance Ramirez is going to barge past them than Aggie Beaver Jones is going to run away from them.
Well, there is that transitional threat, isn't there? And I think bringing Beaver Jones on when City's defence starts to tire could be really effective if you can catch them in transition, where I do think their rest defence is a little bit open. So I think that's a potential to look out for. As with City starting 11 then, biggest contention probably comes in goal. Will it be Keating or Yamashita? What do you think?
It'll be interesting. It has to be. Obviously, we saw Yamashita come back in for the UWCL match. Keating took back-to-back clean sheets in the WSL before that. For me, it has to be Kiara Keating every day of the week, because Chelsea, there are going to be moments in the game where the goalkeeper is going to have to make saves for City to keep them in the match. Yeah. And the same at the other end. The goalkeeper is going to be crucial in that, because there are going to be a lot of shots getting away today, on tomorrow. But for me, I think you have to go Keating. I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor went Yamashita though.
Well, I think Yamashita cost them against Arsenal. I think she cost them against Liverpool. So for me, it's got to be Kiara Keating. I mean, Liverpool, they won in the end, obviously, but I think Keating is a much better goalkeeper in a game like this, where you are going to be facing shots. That is a non-negotiable. You need to have the goalkeeper you trust more to save them.
Yeah.
Back four then, do we know if Leah Alexandri's back?
It's
touch and go, I think
Gareth Taylor and Man City will be really hoping she is going to be back.
I was going to say, how much impact does that have if she is
huge,
back?
Absolutely huge. Lana Kerdy is a decent centre half, but for me, Alexandria is one of the best centre halves in the world at the moment. And if she's back fit, that's absolutely huge for City. That could be a game changer, really, because I think as I said, Alexandri's absolutely incredible at the moment. If she's back for this game tomorrow, massive positive for City.
Yeah, the rest of the defence, it writes itself. Kasperai, Greenwood, Uahabi. We think it'll probably be KD in that right centre half. Depends if Alexandria is back fit or not. Defence midfield, we know that's going to be. It's going to be Yui Hasegawa. It always is. It always will be. Fantastic footballer. Yeah. And in games like today, Yui Hasegawa makes a difference for me.
Yeah, 100%.
She can make a huge difference. So, crucial part of the City side. Then Rawdon Park, again, that bit writes itself. 2 players in really good form, 2 quality outlets and midfielders. I think that gives them so much more creativity. I think Rawdon's been a real breath of fresh air again. She's come back from injury recently. She's added so much more than Miedemar did. I think Miedemar's a good player, probably not exactly what you want from a middle midfielder. Jill Rawdon's just a magnificent player.
Yeah.
Left hand side, Lauren Hemp, that's obvious. Up front, Khadija Shaw. On the right hand side, Virginio or Fowler? Who do you think will be given the nod here?
Again, it's similar to the goalkeeper situation. I would favour Mary Fowler, but I think it'll be Virginio.
Well, both started and played almost a full 90 against Hammarby. Virginio got 81 minutes, Fowler the full 90. Does that provide any evidence?
Potentially so. I mean, obviously, other options, Chloe Kelly, but you haven't played her all season. Gareth Taylor's not going to throw her into a game like
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
She didn't play Hammarby though.
Yeah, that
suggests she could play Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. And you could have gone for them Fowler through the middle, rested Khadija Shaw. But yeah, I think that I would expect it to be Virginio, but I would go Fowler personally. I think Fowler offers you more, and especially in such a big game, I think there's more chance Fowler would deliver.
I think it's more likely to be Fowler, with an outside shout of it being Kelly.
Yeah.
Just because she didn't play midweek. That could be what on earth is going on. But yeah, it's going to be a really good one. Really interesting game. I think there's the 2 evenly matched side. This could very much decide the title. The thing is, any positive result for Chelsea does give them the advantage, of course, because City dropped points earlier in the season, and Chelsea's game it had next weekend against Manchester United would see them climb back above City if they win that. So this is so important for City, because I think if they let Chelsea get ahead and pull a gap, if Chelsea were to win this game, for example, they'd be 2 points clear. They then beat Man United, they're 5 points clear. That gap's already very difficult to make up.
Yeah, it is. I think the key, if it was last year, definitely. I think that the key difference this year is that what we've seen in the WSL so far is that there are now more teams can take points off the bigger sides. And I know obviously Chelsea have
That's true, but no one takes points off Chelsea at the moment.
But Chelsea haven't played Manchester United. They haven't played Man City. They haven't played Brighton. Brighton, I mean, I know the Arsenal game was a bit weird, but they gave United a game. They gave Man City a game. That would be the interesting thing. If Chelsea beat City, beat United, blow Brighton out of the water, then suddenly Chelsea have probably won the league at that point if they're beating all of them.
Yeah,
they've still got to play each other again. City have welcomed them to the Etihad later on in the year. There's still a long way to go.
Again, we don't know.
Maybe, but even if Chelsea win the game in hand, go 5 points clear, it's not over. There's a lot of points to be played fit for.
Yeah, no, that is very true. I just think that a 5 point gap is very difficult for me because I can't see City being flawless. I still think there's a slip up in City's season.
And a Sonia Bompastor Chelsea side aren't going to drop a 5 point lead, are they?
That's the thing at the moment. They don't look like dropping points against anyone. Even if they were then to drop points against City later in the season, they'd have a big enough gap to be able to do that.
That is true.
And that for me is would put them in a really good position. So winning this weekend is really important for Chelsea. City is even more important. They don't let Chelsea win. A draw again favours Chelsea, but I think City would take that obviously over handing 3 points to their rivals. So it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, what exciting season of WSL action we have coming, what we've had so far and we've got to come, and I think this will be a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, very much so. I can't call it, I'll be honest. You could ask for a prediction, I can't give you one because I don't know what to say.
Wow, I've now got a question, Harry. What is your prediction?
I'm going to sit on the fence, I'm going to go for a draw. I can't split the two sides, I think it'll be 1-1, 2-2, probably a 2-2. I'll expect to see quite a few goals, but yeah, I think that Chelsea have looked really, really good, and then City, they pack a punch. They've got game changers. I think you can't, no defence in the world can keep Shaw, Hemp, Broad all quiet, and I think it'll be a draw.
Fair enough. Well, I'm not going to sit on the fence because that sounds really painful. Instead, I'm going to make a decisive decision. I'm going to say Chelsea 2, Man City 1.
Ooh.
Can't go against Chelsea.
It'll be close.
Can't bet against Chelsea. I think it'll be like the Arsenal game. I think Chelsea will get 2 goals in the first half, and then, well, maybe City will score. I don't know. But thirst. Something will happen.
Yeah.
I think that Chelsea will will win 2-1 though. Similar to the Arsenal game, I think it will be that last sort of 20-30 minutes, City will be peppering Chelsea.
Yeah.
It'll be about that defence being strong.
Yeah.
I think City's goal will come from Lauren Hemp nutmegging Bronze, running around her, putting it across the box, and Khadija Shaw taps it in.
That's right.
All of City's goals, and all the goals Chelsea concede come down that left-hand side. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in this game. Of course, if you are watching along at home, watching this video, get involved in the comments down below. Tell us your thoughts and your predictions ahead of this one. Do get involved. And if you're at the game on Saturday, we're going to be there as well. So if you see us, feel free to say hi. That is everything from us today, though. As I say, get your predictions in. There'll be another video on screen now if you'd go ahead and give a watch. What is that, Harry?
It is... Oh, that's a good question, that. Is it Weidman?
Serena Weidman, was that last week's video?
I can't remember.
I'm going to have to cover
really
quickly.
good
It was
stuff.
Serena Weidman. There we go. Go ahead and give that a click if you haven't already. But that is everything from us today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.